right, well, happy Monday. Today we're going to go over area formulas. So last week you should have gone through triangles. So remember, these are just 3 different triangles that you can see, but in all of them you do base times height and divide it by 2. Okay, remember, your base and your height are what form the 90-degree angle. So as you can see there, 3 different options here, okay? It doesn't matter if you would have turned it this way. That would have been fine too, okay? Your parallelogram or rectangle use the same formula, which is base times height or length times width. Okay, again, there's 2 examples for it. The next one is a trapezoid. So for a trapezoid, you are going to add the 2 bases together, multiply that by your height and divide by 2. Okay, lastly, you have your kite and rhombus, which those involve your diagonals. So you multiply the 2 diagonals together and then you have to divide that by 2 as well. Okay. The last one you may have hit last week was a square. So the area for a square is just going to be side squared. For the perimeter of all of these shapes, you just add up the sides around it. Okay. The circle is the only one that is different. Here's our circle in purple. Okay. We're going to get to circles in the next video, and I'm going to go through that in depth. So again, I will send out this big area formula sheet in the Remind. Okay. The next stuff that we're going to go through is going to involve me teaching you. So I'm going to flip this around for you. Okay, sorry. All right. I'm going to reference these formula sheets every now and then, so you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay. One of your first exercises this week deals with the area of shapes on grids. Okay. So here's a shape on a grid. Okay, so for this shape on a grid, what is important here is to remember that we can always outline the shape around it and find that area and then subtract the pieces that we do not need. That is the easiest way to go about attacking these ones. Okay, so this is a triangle, but I don't have the base and the height. Instead, I can create either a rectangle around this. So if I do that, if I look at the farthest points in green, see, I'm gonna have to go all the way around like this. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the base would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this actually happens to be a square. So if I want to find the area of a square, it is just going to be side squared. So if I plug in 7 there, 7 squared, 7 times 7, that's 49. That's the entire area of this whole entire square. But notice, these 3 green pieces, I need to subtract off. Do you see how they come to a right angle here? That's why I can use my formula of a triangle now. So I'm going to have to do that 3 times. So if I go through and count here, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this would be a 4 by 4. So if I find the area of that triangle, remember from our formula sheet, area of a triangle over here is going to be base times height divided by 2. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. My base, which is 4, times the height 4, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So this chunk is 8. I'm going to continue to do the second triangle right here. 1, 2, 3 by 7, because we already counted that earlier. So the area of my second triangle, base times height divided by 2. 3 times 7 divided by 2. Now 3 times 7 is 21. 21 divided by 2 will give me a decimal of 10.5. So this triangle is 10.5. And then I have my third triangle over here. That's 1, 2, 3. And then that height would be 7, because we counted that earlier. So same thing, the area of the third triangle, 3 times 7 divided by 2, which I just did above. So again, that's 10.5. I need to subtract these 3 triangles from my main area. Okay, so if I do that, 49 minus 8, that gives me 41. Then I'm going to subtract 10.5. Okay, so 41 minus 10.5 is 30.5. And then minus another 10.5 for that third triangle, that will give me 20. Therefore, the area of that triangle which I was trying to find was 20. Can't just count inside these cubes because there's different parts, right? It could be a half, you never know. Okay, but do you see how you're finding the area of the bigger one and subtracting off the other pieces? That's how you go about solving that composite. It's utilizing the areas of different shapes from last week. Okay, let's try another example. So for example 2, okay, again, here I have a triangle. You know, when I look at that, I might think that I could break it up into nice, easy triangles. Okay, like if I say, oh, well, I noticed that it, comes down here to form a triangle with this guy. Oops, if I could draw straight, sorry. Okay, but, then it leaves me with these random ones that aren't going to work out too nicely, okay? So I wouldn't go about, breaking it up into different shapes. Instead, we're going to do that same exact thing that we did on the previous example. We are going to draw around it. Okay. All the way up to short here, and then it goes through this guy. And I'm going to take a moment, I'm going to count around it, the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Okay, so this is a rectangle. Remember, to find the area of a rectangle, you're just going to do your base times your height. So my area of that giant thing is going to be 9 times 11, which is 99. Now, notice there are 3 triangles again we have to subtract. Triangle area, base times height divided by 2. Okay, that's always your triangle. Some of you might use this formula 1/2 base times height. That is absolutely the same thing. You're able to do any of those, you'll get the same answer. So let's start with this triangle over here, because I already know it's 11 down the side, and then it's 2 over here. So to plug it into this formula, 1/2 your base times height. So my base is 2 times 11, and then I divide it by 2. Okay, some of you might notice the 2's cancel out here, and it just leaves you with 11. Okay, others might do 22 divided by 2, which is 11. So the area of this triangle is 11 in here. Okay, let's look at this guy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so plug it into that formula, right? 7 times 8 divided by 2. Okay, 7 times 8 is 56. Okay, 56 divided by 2 will give you 28. So this guy is 28 in here. And then my last triangle down here, we already know that's 9. 1, 2, 3. 9 by 3. So again, base times height, 9 times 3 divided by 2. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 divided by 2 is 13.5. Okay. Remember, the entire thing was 99, so we are going to subtract my 3 areas that I found over here. Okay. So if I do the first one, 99 minus 11, I'll end up with 88. Riggins, please stop. Thank you. Sorry, that's my dog. 88 minus 28, that's the second one, right? That will leave me with 60. And then lastly, minus 13.5. And if you punch in your calculator, that's fine with me. You can do it by hand, anything that works. So that will leave me with 46.5 as my answer. The area of that triangle is 46.5 units squared, whatever, unless they give you centimeters. All right, so that again is on a grid. That is what you're going to do. So I hope that helps you to clarify it. It's taking in multiple areas together. All right. The next lesson in this video is going to be the area of composite shapes. Now, that might be multiple shapes stacked on top of each other. Sometimes when you combine shapes, you create a new one that you already have a formula for. So if you take a look at, say I give you a rectangle, okay, and a triangle. I give you this rectangle and a triangle and I tell you that this is 6 and this is 4 and then this part over here is 3. Okay, since it's a rectangle, you know that opposite sides are congruent. This piece is also 6 and this piece is also 4. You are doing the area of both shapes and then adding them together when they're on top of each other like that. So you're going to find the area of the rectangle, which tells me to do 6 times 4 because it's base times height. 6 times 4 is 24. And then you're going to add it to the area of a triangle, which is base times height divided by 2. 3 times 4 divided by 2. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So add these two together, 24 plus 6, and it gives you 30. And say I put inches up here the whole time, it would be inches squared because it is area. However, some of you may have noticed that this shape is also the same as a trapezoid. See that right here in brown? So you could have used that trapezoid formula as well. Let's see if it would give me the same answer. My trapezoid formula tells me to do base 1 plus base 2, add them together, multiply it by your height, and divide by 2. Okay, so that's the formula. So if I look at this, base 1 is 6. Okay, and then my base 2 is a combination of those. So base 1, 6, plus base 2, which is 6 plus 3, which will give me 9. Multiply that by my height. What's connecting both bases? That's what your height is. And that's 4. There's that right angle. And then divide it by 2. Okay. So 6 plus 9 is 15. Part gives me 15. 15 times 4 is 60. 60 divided by 2. Same exact answer of 30. Okay, so that is what you're going to do for those composite shapes. I would see if they're a trapezoid, because that's a lot easier, but sometimes you want to add all the little shapes together. Absolutely, that's fine. You just have to remember your area formula. Okay, if you can remember that, you'll be in good hands. All right, so that's what I have on the kind of doing multiple areas. You're either going to add or subtract or look for a bigger shape in there. Stay tuned for the circle one.